Hey YouTube, Stampede 19 here. Hope everybody's doing well. In the past I've been asked this question a lot, and just recently by a YouTube user called Controlled with Remote. If you haven't checked out his channel, do so. Some cool videos. Question is this sound normal when it comes to the Traxxas slash 4x4? I'm going to be using my slash 4x4 to go over some areas to look at and how you can quiet the truck down a little bit. Again, I will reiterate the slash 4x4, because of its inherent design of being a shaft driven or an aluminum shaft driven vehicle. They're chatty, very noisy vehicles, and there's a reason for that, and I'll go over that. Does it impact performance? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, being as loose as it is allows the chassis to flex and keeps things from breaking. Again, I'm going to be using my slash 4x4 to go over some of the areas you can look at. Although it's been converted to an on-road vehicle. If you haven't seen my video on this, do so. The GT8. Still the same parts underneath. The only difference is some geometry changes to the suspension, 17mm hexes, and some on-road tires, and naturally the body. Let's just get in here real quick. Again, I'm not going to take the truck apart. I'm just going to point out where the noises come from and what I've done to keep the truck a little quieter. Okay, let's get in a little tighter. If you can see here in the video, the slash 4x4 is shaft driven. Most of you already know that. The shaft, if you run your finger along it, and most of you probably have a cover here, I take that off. Rocks, pebbles tend to get in through the front, and there are mods out there to keep the dirt out of here. They do work. Still a bit of a pain with the cover off. Stuff gets in, blows right out. I haven't had an issue since I removed the cover. Once in a while, a pebble or a stone will sit on top of the shaft, and that's where you get these marks from. But they kick right out. I haven't had any issues since taking the cover out. The cover really did more damage than anything else. If you can take the cover off, and on a stock slash, you'll be able to move the shaft back and forth. And that's the biggest noise maker on the truck. The truck loves to, as it's accelerating, the shaft will bounce back and forth on where it's attached back here on a slipper clutch. If you have the regular slash, if you have a platinum, it came with a center diff, of which I have installed a center diff, and again it still will slide back and forth, and you'll get that chattering noise. You'll actually, if you check out other videos of the slash running, you'll actually hear, and probably your own truck, it's chattering. Notice my shaft does not move. Alright, I don't get any chatter from the shaft, and I'll explain how I did that. Basically take the truck apart. I typically do this at the rear. If you not sure if you can see here, let me see if I can zoom in there for you. If you look inside here, I have my shaft all the way to the edge. No gap in here. Your trucks will be able to slide this back and forth, and you'll have a gap in here. You can actually see the gear up front. Okay, what I do is I take this guy out. Okay, take the shaft out from the back. Okay, you disconnect the truck. All right, you remove these two screws here. Okay, turn the truck around. All right, I'm not going to get into how to take the truck apart. I have another video on it. Take these two screws out here. Okay, the back comes out. You'll slide the shaft out. All right, apply just a little bit of shoe goo right at the tip of the shaft before you slide it back in, and it'll harden up front and the shaft will stay in place, and that quiets the truck down a lot. All right, shoe goo's cool. It will wear out. It's not gonna cause the shaft to stay stuck. You'll be able to pull it off. Every time I take the truck apart to clean, I put a little more shoe goo on the tip, and this way it stays in place. Big difference, quieted it down. Another issue is people have a lot of trouble with, see if I can zoom in for you. People have a lot of trouble with when they're doing their gear mesh. It's very important that you loosen the screw right here. Let's see if I can turn this around for you. Okay. Very important that you loosen this screw here. All right, and that'll allow you to move the motor up and down. I would take the motor cover off. Okay, take the motor cover off, and what I can basically, I hold this in place. Okay, and I've got the truck on a stand where the wheels are off the ground, and I slowly start to accelerate, and you can listen to the gear mesh. Just be careful, don't get your fingers pinched, because again, you're gonna have the cover open. I don't want you guys getting hurt. But you can actually move the motor while it's turning, slide it up and down, and as soon you're gonna find the sweet spot. Okay, and it's gonna get real quiet. As soon as you find that sweet spot, you lock it down, and you're done. Okay, if you're gonna bash, if you're bashing the truck, I recommend keeping the slipper clutch in there, because it'll allow the driveline to slip under heavy load. Okay, if you're going to race the truck, I highly recommend the center differential and keeping the gear mesh smooth. If you're going to bash, I typically keep the gear mesh kind of tight, because you're hot on the brakes, you're hot on the acceleration, and if you have too much of a gap in the spur gear, you can just eat the teeth right up. That's the second area where you'll get a lot of noise. The third place that there is quite a bit of chatter, well, it's actually more than one place. It's actually in the front and the rear. You're going to get a clicking sound. And again, that's normal for the Slash 4x4. They ship the trucks bone stock with a very light coating of grease. So the gears inside the differentials can click early on as the truck is new. As you use the truck, it does get a little quieter. Personally, I recommend your first breakdown of the truck, for your first maintenance, enjoy the truck first. I don't say you take the truck apart as soon as you get it. Enjoy the truck. It's gonna be chatty. Don't worry about it. If you're gonna be racing, you're going to take the damn thing apart, you're going to open up those discs, you're going to clean out those discs, and then you're going to fill them with silicone fluid. I run this with 100K. It's very thick. I don't recommend it for the winter time. I was running 100K in the summer. I still have it in there. We're still just testing this as an on-road car, so I'm not doing too much competition racing with it. But the diffs will have to be cleaned out and some type of silicone fluid placed inside them instead of the grease that they ship it with, if you want to quiet it down. That's about it. Those are the only places that I found a lot of noise. Your front and rear diff, the mesh, and the drive shaft, and none of which impact casual driving and bashing. Again, if you're going to seriously race the vehicle, you want to go after those diffs. One other thing, some some people, quite a few on the internet have complained early on about the wheels wobbling after a few runs. If you don't jump the truck, you don't race the truck, you'll never have a bent axle. But typically those are bent axle issues. Traxxas claims to have resolved that issue with going with stronger steel axles. The part number for the axles didn't change, so it's pot luck whether you're getting correct. Anybody out there knows different, correct me if I'm wrong, but the part number didn't change, so you're not going to know whether or not you've got the updated axles. Personally, I have not seen a difference. I purchased a few of these trucks early on, later in the year, and supposedly the build number that I have has the upgraded axles, and guess what? I bent them. Very rare, but you can have a failed bearing cause a wheel wobble, but that's rare. The truck has to be pretty old, and you've got to be abusing it quite a bit. Another even more uncommon issue, I have seen some of the Proline beadlock rims, the plastic rims, the calibers, I'm not sure, the sixes, I'm not sure what the name of the rim is, but I've seen them, the cup themselves, warp inside and cause the wheel to wobble a little bit. As an example, here is a Street Fighter, Proline Street Fighter, with the Proline beadlock rim, and the failure typically occurs right in here where the nut catches the wheel. For some reason, the hub itself, where the hex goes in here, actually bends a little bit, but almost imperceivable to the eye. It bends a little bit, and that'll cause a wheel wobble as well. Again, on a dirt track, you'll never see it. On road, you'll see it. So it's up to you whether you want to replace it. Do I think you need to throw money at a slight wobble? Absolutely not. But, to each his own. If you've got the mots to change them out, by all means, go right ahead. All right, guys, if you have any questions, post them. Any of this isn't clear, let me know, and I'll do what I can to help you out. Enjoy the night.